Harold Perkins a real deal, huh?
Oh yes, dude.
Hey, hey,
Where did he come from?
hey, hey, he flies around, huh?
Man,
He is a
where did he come
problem.
from? That's the type of guy like that's that's your spark plug on
Yep,
defense.
no doubt.
He's a walking spark plug.
He's a
A guy
linebacker
like
that can
that,
play
high
safety.
energy.
I'm watching. I'm
Yeah,
watching
and
him with the ability to play safety. He's a linebacker. I seen him put his hand in the dirt. I'm like, good lord, what is he not doing?
He might catch a
and
carry
that's
running
one of
back.
the guys. That's one of the guys you got your starters, but you create a spot for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just like you have your three safeties playing. He can plug into that.
Wait, time out. But you know how this thing goes at this place, right? Like year in and year out,
Harry
there's
Coleman,
always an incoming
Danny
freshman that
McCray.
comes in where you like, hey, dog, you're not gonna be able to keep him off the field. Like he gonna have to
You
play
can,
somewhere.
you cannot. Even when we made the change, Jared, from Harry Coleman and Danny McCray to playing safety to playing nickel and outside linebacker.
Yep.
Look what that did to our team.
Yep.
Those two just went ape shit.
But they did.
Yeah, they did.
But the thing is, you not putting them in the box, and you don't have them out there as robots.
Yeah.
You letting them be the natural athletes
Yes.
that they are, and they gonna create plays.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Half the time, Tyrann Mathieu and Ron Brooks was blitzing. They ass wasn't supposed to be blitzing, but they got to the ball. They understood the assignment, and they knew, okay, I got 2.5 seconds to get to this quarterback before these guys on this back end either get ran out of coverage or they blow a coverage because they know that we're not covering and we're blitzing and we're not supposed to. And they got to it and they made the plays. Football is about instinct.
Yep.
Ed Reed, 90%, 50% of Ed Reed interceptions came off of instinct and not the play call.
Yeah.
Yep. No doubt.
Yep.
Oh, man, you've seen Bill Belichick talk about the film whenever he turns around and fools Peyton Manning wherever he's supposed to be rolling to cover one, and he turns around and turns his back, and he's like, I had no idea that he was going to do that. Like,
Exactly.
That's all
And
instinct.
a player like Perkins, you put him on the field and you just pick, his play call is hunt.
Yep.
Go get him.
Go get the
Go
ball.
get him.
Hey, that ball, go get it.
At
Hey,
full
so
speed.
You got
Exactly.
you play against Mississippi State, and obviously they didn't have the air raid offense that when you were here, right? They, the Mike Leach offense, the whole deal, kind of dinking, dunking, spread them out. Not many plays, but a lot of crosses, a lot of mesh routes, kind of confusion. I felt like our secondary, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, our secondary played about as good as you can expect against a team like that, because you didn't see a lot of missed coverages. Maybe they made a couple plays. The quarterback's good. Obviously he's going to make some throws, but you didn't see like you saw 2 years ago when guys are running with 25 yards of separation, confused, not knowing what they're going to do. Did you see the same things, or did you feel like, obviously the scheme probably helped to that too?
Mike, now check this out. You can go watch all the film from last year and the year before that in the secondary. Not once have you seen one of these DBs throw their hands up in the air or look at a teammate like,
I've been saying that
"That's
for
your guy."
3 weeks straight.
That,
3
I'm
weeks
telling
straight.
you, bro. Once you got players that can take accountability, okay, we may mess up on the field. I'm gonna take the blame, but once we get on the sideline, we're gonna figure it out, because at the end of the day, it's a DB fault. At the end of the day, no matter what.
Yep.
You the last line of defense. And to see the way these guys are playing and to play against an air raid team like that, I mean, I can remember going back to playing against Arkansas when they had Ryan Mallett. You can't just completely stop and dominate a team like that, an offense like that. You got to contain them.
Yeah.
And they contained them very well.
Yeah.
They held them to they limited their options. And that's what you're supposed to do as a secondary when you're playing against a good offense like that.
Now, and here's a great. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we've been saying that for a while, and we've been trying to figure out what that attributes to. I personally think if you see the way they play, they're not perfect, but they're not blaming. They ain't got guys running wide open. You don't see guys looking at each other, throwing hands up. I think that speaks a ton to how they're being coached up and how they're being held accountable by the staff that's come in here, right?
You got to know your personnel. You got to coach your guys to their ability. Just like I remember Coach Saban, my brother's freshman year, he came in and he recruited my brother, him and Will Muschamp. They told my brother, they said, we'll treat every player the same, but everybody will not be coached the same.
Yeah.
Because you may react differently to me cussing you out like a dog rather than me just giving you simple instructions.
Right.
Yep.
And you could tell these guys in that secondary and on that defense, they're being coached well, and they're being coached assignment football, and it's showing.
Yeah.
They tackle really well, too. You don't miss – a lot of cornerbacks sometimes shy away from the tackling part, but I feel like our secondary does a really good job of when they wrap you up, more than likely you're going down. Now, people had some questions after the first game. They obviously changed that because they didn't have a bunch of missed tackles. They didn't had a bunch of guys in space, and they went down. Like, that's impressive. The other thing that I want to ask you about is against an air raid offense, a guy that snaps it, gets the ball out quick. You don't really have time to get to him. We had 4, almost probably 6 sacks off of Rodgers. How good does he look at B.J. Ojolari?
Man, you see that number on his back?
He didn't get that for nothing.
I know you still going off that do say 9. But when I got on the show, I was watching a Heineken commercial, so I know you've been sitting there. That man, hey, that dude is a freaking machine. And the thing about it is, he don't even know how good he is.
Yeah.
He's still raw, man. It's a bunch of those guys on that team that's still raw. Like, they have not tapped into their ability to understand how good they can truly be. And that's what I think that's why the fans are kind of answering, because we know and we see it, and it's just once they get it, and it's that 1% better each and every week. But to get back to what you were saying, how Mississippi State gets the ball out quick, that goes back to great coverage by the secondary. If you don't have blown assignments, they can't get the ball out. And you playing tight and contesting football, you're going to get sacks like that.